Okay, so I explained what I think truth is, but in this video I'm going to explain why I think truth is so important. Why is it more important to be true? Why is it more important to have the truth than to have something that makes you feel comfortable or happy? Let's answer that with a question. Suppose you had terminal cancer and you had 3 months left to live and there was no way to treat it. Would you rather have the doctor come out and tell you that, or would you rather have him bullshit you and tell you that, oh no, you're going to be fine, you're going to live, you're going to be fine, you're going to live several more years, you're going to be happy and comfortable, you're fine, you're overreacting? Or would you rather just have him come out and tell you, I'm sorry, there's nothing more we can do, you're going to die in about 3 months at the most? So that just gives a little example on how the truth can be more important than happiness. Now, I think a lot of people that are extremely religious tend to think that things that make them feel comfortable are more important than things that are necessarily true. That's one of the defenses that I've heard of religion a lot, is, well, it makes me feel comfortable. So what? I'd feel comfortable if I thought I was incredibly athletic, if I thought that I wasn't an overweight fat hog. But it's not true. I'd feel comfortable if I thought I was a master musician, but if you check out those videos of me playing on the piano, you can see, no. So, yeah, maybe it does make you feel comfortable. I can see that you're comfortable with the idea of surviving your own death, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. Lots of things are comfortable and they're not true. And the truth often hurts. Lots of things are true that are completely uncomforting. So that's first of all an illustration of why. It's first an illustration of how I see it. How just because something's true, or just because something's comforting, doesn't mean it's true. And just because something's true doesn't mean it's comforting. So why do I feel that truth is more important than happiness? Truth is, in my opinion, the first step to take. Before we can agree on anything else, we have to establish a common reality. We have to all agree on what the facts are. And then we can move on to what I feel is the next important step: meaning and purpose. What is the meaning of life, and what is the purpose of your life? That's what I mean by meaning and purpose. Meaning is, by meaning, I'm referring to a much more broad perspective. What's the meaning of reality? What's the meaning of life itself? What's the meaning of existence? And in order to know that, you first have to establish the truth about existence. What are the basic laws of reality? How did this universe get here to begin with? What's going to happen to this universe? Before you can answer anything about the meaning of everything, you first have to establish at least a little bit of truth about it. So, of course, if you want to have any real meaning, then you need to establish truth first. And in order to have purpose in your life, you first have to establish meaning. In order to give yourself purpose, in order to tell yourself, or in order to come up with what you're going to have as the purpose in your life. And I am a little existentialist in this way. I believe that we create the purpose in our own lives. I don't believe that we're going to be given the purpose or told what the meaning of our life is. I think we have to figure that out for ourselves. So before you figure that out for yourself, you have to have meaning. And in order to have meaning, you have to agree on a common reality. So, truth is at the basis of all these things. Just to give you an example, think about, what if the Earth were the center of the universe? And everything else revolved around the Earth. I mean, that's going to lead, definitely, I mean, that would be a truth. If that were fact, that would be truth. And if that were the truth, just think about it. The meaning that we would determine for life would be much more central and much more important than it is knowing that the only life that we know exists is on this planet, which is nowhere near the center of even the galaxy, which is nowhere near the center of the universe. So our idea of what the meaning of life is certainly much, much different knowing what we know about cosmology. And my idea of meaning stems from this, and knowing how things came about through somewhat impersonal forces. I believe that it's not quite as comforting as knowing that we have a purpose, but I can derive some comfort from that truth, knowing that there are impersonal forces guiding everything, and that statistics and randomness and probability govern a lot of our lives. I can derive some comfort from that, because that lets me know that, well, I'm free to create the purpose in my own life, and that the meaning of life is, well, the meaning of life itself is partially based on biology, or you could also argue that the meaning of life doesn't exist. There is no meaning of life. There is no meaning to life. There are many different arguments you can make, but in order to make those arguments, you first have to establish truth. Now, I derive my purpose in life from my own desires. I enjoy science, I enjoy philosophy, and I enjoy all sorts of things. And I make those things a part of my purpose in life. And I make, I also want to, once I get out of college, I want to make some real contributions to the knowledge of the world. And so I make that part of my purpose in life. I want to do something important. Now, whether I actually will or not depends on how things play out, but I certainly want to do that. And so I'm making that my purpose in life, part of my purpose in life, so I'm going to work toward that. That's giving me a goal to work toward. So yes, I do understand that a lot of people want purpose and meaning in their lives. As do I. I think having a purpose and having a meaning is one of the few things that keeps people going, keeps people getting up in the morning and wanting to do something. But in order to have that purpose and meaning, you have to agree on some sort of common reality. Because if you're persisting in some delusion about the way the world works, you're not going to, your purpose and your meaning are going to be all screwed up. You're going to have some purpose in your life that doesn't really even make sense. It's sort of like the schizophrenic individual has purpose and meaning in his life, but these purposes are partially based on voices that don't exist that he's hearing. Bad example, I suppose, but my point is, if you want to have purpose and meaning in your life, then you need to agree on what truth is, or otherwise you're going to have a purpose and meaning that are entirely, ironically, meaningless. So this is why, at least partially why, truth is extremely important, and why truth is the basis for all other things. You can't get anything else before you come to some conclusions about what actual truth is.